Please say hello to the audience. You got 2 minutes for an introduction. Go ahead.
Good evening, and thank you all for being here. House District 40 deserves a voice that is rooted in real day-to-day lives of our families, not politics as usual. Look, I've spent my entire career serving this community through education, not just in the classroom, but in leadership. For 5 years, I served as a high school assistant principal, responsible for staff, budgeting, and campus operations. This meant making tough decisions, balancing limited resources, and keeping students and teachers safe, while staying accountable to families and taxpayers. In addition, my family has served through law enforcement and the military. Those experiences shape how I see everyday issues we face. I believe that leadership starts with getting the basics right, which is safe neighborhoods, strong schools, reliable infrastructure, support for small businesses, and standing firmly behind our law enforcement officers, our military, and veterans. I'm running because I've seen what happens when decisions are made far away from the classroom, the kitchen table, or the small businesses that are just trying to keep their doors open. Families don't need slogans. They need steady political leaders that shows up and does the work. I've faced challenges in my life that have taught me how to stand firm under pressure, and that resilience guides how I will lead. As I talk tonight about education, public safety, water, and the future of our district, I hope you'll hear my answers through that lens. Practical solutions grounded in real experience, always putting families first.
Thank you, Ms. Churchill. Memo Gomez, say hello to everybody.
Hey,
Tell
hello.
folks about yourself.
My name is Nehemias Gomez. Just to give you a little story about I didn't come prepared with a good speech like Vangela's. I didn't. I just wanted to kind of let everybody know who I am. I'm son of Baptist missionaries to Mexico. My parents have collectively started over 100 churches on both sides of the border, in the Rio Grande Valley and in Tamaulipas. My father served as a public servant for many years in Tamaulipas, and this is the first time that I'm trying to do something in politics here in the Rio Grande Valley. So I'm not a seasoned veteran as far as politics goes, but my heart's in the right place. I'm a conservative. I'm America First. I am, school choice. I align with the vision of the governor 100%. So he will have an ally in the Texas House if I were to be nominated.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Ms. Churchill, let's talk about fiscal policy, budgetary policy in Austin. So you have 2 minutes to state your opinion, position on property taxes, reducing or eliminating, and try to find places to cut spending in Austin. You have 2 minutes.
Well, we have already taken initiative to lower property taxes. We recently voted on Proposition 13. And so we are already in a good spot. We want to protect what we already have, but we can still do more. And the way we can do it, property taxes it's complicated, because when we talk about property taxes, it's not just state taxes or school taxes, there's local taxes as well. So we can lower the property taxes at the state level, but if our local entities are charging higher taxes, or they raise taxes and they don't allow us to, they don't let us know, there's no transparency, that's why we see our prices going up. And so I think one thing that we need to put into place is that anytime any local entity raises the taxes, it should be voted upon, and they need to keep transparency. Where is that money going? And so I think that's one thing that we need to do. I do believe in, as far as fiscal responsibility, less government. We need to be a little more responsible when it comes to spending. And I do know that we have a surplus, and there's a lot of things that need to be addressed. So, yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Churchill. Same question, Memo. Your position on property taxes, reducing them or eliminating them, and trying to cut spending, try to find ways to cut that in state government. Your thoughts?
Okay, my thoughts on this is our government has it right. Governor Abbott just came down not too long ago, so he reduced the age limit for senior citizens that are not going to have to pay property taxes. So the governor has it right. He's doing a great job. I think the president has it right. I think what Ms. Churchill just said is actually one thing that I have on my notes. And if we are going to raise local taxes, we should vote on it. Besides that, I think just align with the governor and align with the president on the tax issues.
All right, sir. Now, each candidate, you have 1 minute to continue commenting on this, and we can call it a rebuttal. So you're willing to take it, or you can pass. Ms. Churchill, anything else you'd like to say for 1 minute on this issue? No. Okay. Memo? Okay, very well. Question 2. Each candidate has 2 minutes. Memo, you answer first. Do you support school choice, charters, vouchers, and explain your position? You have 2 minutes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes. That's actually one of the things that I'm running on as far as my campaign, school choice. The governor was fighting for this bill for so long. And it's actually one of the greatest bills to ever exist. It literally gives the parent the choice to send their kids where they want to. And the government's helping out with that. So I think it's one of the greatest bills. My brother, his 4 kids go to private school, Christian school. So I think it's a good opportunity for the less fortunate or people that don't have the means to get into a private school. I think it's a great thing that the government is going to help them out with that.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Okay. Same question, Ms. Churchill, which is, do you support school choice, charters?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As a public school teacher, I see the needs of our students. That their backgrounds are so diverse, and not every teacher can handle the diversity that's in the classroom. If you guys could just spend a day in the classroom, you would understand what I mean. But if a school district or a particular school is not meeting the needs of a student, the parent should have all the right to take that student where they are going to have their needs met. This would not take away anything in regards to special education, because I know that is a concern that a lot of people have had. This just means the money follows the student no matter where they go. That way, everybody has the same equal opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Churchill. 1 more minute on the issue. Mr. James, Mr. Gomez, 1 more minute, or do you pass?
I'll take 1 more minute.
Go ahead, sir.
I was recently at the State of the 956 meeting with Ms. Hilda. She invited me to it. It was a great event. Both senators were there, the Chuy Hinojosa and Adam. And we asked the same question. And it was great to see the difference, between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Chuy voted against it. He says it's going to implode our public school system. I don't agree with that. I think it's a great thing for our country. It's a great thing for our state.
Thank you, sir. Question 3. Each candidate has 2 minutes. Why are you a Republican, Mr. Gomez?
Funny you should ask. I've been a Republican since I have memory, since I was a child, being the son of a Baptist missionary. I think we had no choice. It aligned so well with our conservative values. So we're pro-life. It was just embedded in me since I was a child. So I believe in the core values. I believe in the great people of the party. I believe in the just the great people that are here. It's such an honor to be amongst all of you people, and it's a real honor to be called a Republican, and I will always, forever be a Republican.
Ms. Churchill, are you a Republican?
Because I absolutely could not be a Democrat. The Republican Party aligns with my morals and my values. The way that I believe, I am a Christian, and if anybody is a Christian, then you know that what we believe in as a Republican Party aligns very much so with what the Bible says. I will tell you that I have always voted Republican. I've never voted Democrat, Independent, nothing. Republican I just did my research. I didn't know what I was gonna vote for. I didn't know who or what. And so I wasn't into politics either the first time I voted. And so I did my research on the candidates and their beliefs, and I was 100% aligned with the Republican Party, and I cannot see myself going any other way. Whether it be voting at the ballot, or whether it be how I vote in Austin, always red.
Memo, you got 1 more minute on the issue if you'd like to say something else on this topic.
Yes, I do. Here's the thing about being a Republican. It's very different than being a Democrat. You know, we covet our values, Christian values. We covet our conservative values, and it's just an honor seeing like-minded people here. And you know, it means a lot for me to have all you guys show out and care about your community. A lot of people don't take time out of their schedule to get out and find out what's going on with the community. You know, and I want to thank all of you guys for showing that you care about the community.
Thank you, Memo. Question 3. Each candidate has 2 minutes. See, I already lost count. Who goes next? Who goes first? Yeah, is it 1, 2, 8? Yes, all right. Do you believe that there should be any change, Vangela? Do you believe there should be any changes to any of the state's gun laws? If so, what would you change and why? 2 minutes.
Absolutely no change to gun laws. Maybe make it easier to get a concealed carry. But no, our gun laws are there to protect us from the government, and to protect us from, or to keep for our own safety. And I will tell you that there was a time recently in Edinburgh, well, not recently, a couple of years ago, in Edinburgh off Canton, I was being followed around in Walmart, and I usually conceal carry, and that day I didn't, and I wish I had. But there was a man and a lady that were following me, and the lady got extremely close to my daughter and started touching her arm, and that scared me. And I realized, you know what, I need to carry all the time, because it's for my safety, my daughter's safety. You just never know what can happen. And so I strongly support the NRA and our gun rights, and I will never waver on that.
Thank you, Ms. Churchill. Memo Gomez, your position on the state's gun laws and if there are any changes needed, and if so, why? Go ahead, Memo, 2 minutes.
Yeah, if anything, give us more access to the necessary, I guess, tools to be able to defend ourselves. You know, a good old Republican saying goes, "How do you stop a bad man with a gun? You need a good man with a gun." So that's what we need to do. We need to make sure the people that have the guns are good men, and that we're protecting our families. So while they're out there getting their illegal guns and they're flooded with weapons, we got to make sure our good men are able to have guns too. So I agree with the Second Amendment 100%.
1 more minute on the issue, Ms. Churchill, or you want to pass?
I want to say just something more, because one of the big issues out there that a lot of people believe that we need to have more restrictions when it comes to gun laws is because they say there are so many school shootings. Well, let me just say this. As an educator, we go through so many trainings every single year. Online, I'm not kidding you, like 20-some trainings that we have to take. And one of those trainings, they told us that there is more of a chance that a student dies being run over in a parking lot than shot with a gun at a school. And so our guns are not killing our students. That is a lie. That is just something that is made up to try to take away our guns. So we need to focus on why we have our rights in the first place.
All right. Memo, 1 more minute on the issue, or you want to pass?
Yes, I'll take 1 more minute.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the Second Amendment is one of our basic rights. You know, it's one of our basic rights as being an American. It's one of our basic rights as being a Texan. So if anything, we should do everything we can to protect it. We should do everything we can to protect it, because that is a way that good men are able to have. the necessary weapons to protect their family. So if we do away with the Second Amendment, we're going to be in trouble. If you think we're going high on school shootings and things like that, it's going to get much worse if we do away with the Second Amendment.
Thank you, sir. Our lightning round is coming up here in just a few minutes. I believe we're taking this segment down to about 7:30, so we got 5 minutes to fill. And let me shift to another more important issue on health care. I believe, Memo, you're next on this one. I think you're first on this one. What role does the state of Texas play in expanding or limiting health care access? 1 minute, Memo, go ahead. 2 minutes, but 2 minutes.
I think as far as healthcare goes, we got it right. I think the governor has done all the steps necessary to make sure we all have accessible healthcare. I think, if anything, I do think maybe we should make it a little bit more affordable for the senior citizens and people that are, more vulnerable, with your kids and, pregnant women, things like that. So we should definitely always try to find a way to help the less fortunate or help the people that need it. But ultimately, I think the governor is doing a great job. I think the President Trump is doing a good job. I think, we as Americans all have access to great health care.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Churchill, the role of the state of Texas in expanding or limiting health care access, your opinion, 2 minutes.
I think that there is a practical solution, and that would be, and I say this so that you can remember it, less waiting, less paperwork, and more care. We can do this by attracting more doctors and nurses and mental health care professionals into our area. There are a lot of loan repayment programs out there. We need to open up more residency slots. So the more that we have here, the less time that we're going to be sitting in the waiting room and waiting for health care. I will tell you that as a teacher, I've seen many students absent from my class for a week because they cannot get health care. They're just at home suffering it out. And so a lot of times we need to make it more accessible for our working families. Maybe telehealth, that might be another option. I know that is available, but we can make it more readily available. So it's easy just to say, oh, I'll fix healthcare, but we have to have a real plan. And there are a lot of proven loan repayment pipelines that can certainly help with that in this area.
Thank you, Ms. Churchill. Memo, 1 more minute on the issue if you want to take it or pass.
Okay.
Ms. Churchill, 1 more minute? Yes? No? You're good? Very well. Mr. Chairman, may I go over a minute or two in our 20-minute block?
Sure.
Okay, 1 more question before the lightning round. Okay, so Ms. V, you got this question. This one might hit you from left field. So tell us about a time that you changed your mind on a political issue and why. You have 2 minutes.
I don't think I've ever changed my mind. I'm a hardcore Republican, and I strongly believe in the Republican values, and it doesn't mean that I always agree with everything that every single Republican does or says or the way that they vote, but I have not changed my mind on anything, and I think that's important because that means the audience knows, my constituents will know that what I say up here and what I say when I'm out there on the campaign trail is what I believe, and I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change my perspective because this is who I am. And by the way, I'm really bad at lying, so you guys would know if I were.
All right. Memo, that time you changed your mind on a political issue and why? 2 minutes, sir.
Yes, time I changed my mind on a political issue. I really didn't change my mind, but as me being a Republican and being pro, ICE, I'm pro ICE agents, 100%. We back ICE agents. I'm pro. But living in the Rio Grande Valley, it's different. It's not like being in Dallas. It's not like being in Houston, Atlanta. You know, here we have a lot of Latinos, man, and a lot of our community where I get my haircut. Hey, they did a raid, and now we, my barbershop is empty. We have no economics. So, you know, I would be not genuine if I would sit here and lie to you guys. You know, I'm pro-ICE, I'm 100% Republican, but I kind of changed my stance on certain things just because of where we live. You know, here we live in the valley, we figured it out. We don't have the problems they do, you know, with these riots, race wars, and things up north. Here, we all get it on. You know, so I think I changed my position a little bit as far as, you know, immigration, and that's just because of the demographic, and I think, you know, besides that, everything's still good. We're still Republicans. It just made me, you know, rethink my stance on certain things, you know, but still pro-Republican.
I'm going to proceed to the lightning round. There will be no lightning involved, so don't worry. 1 minute for a response, real quick. 1 minute, no rebuttal. Ms. Churchill.
Yeah, I'm not sure, I understand what changed as far as your stance on immigration, but I know that I've always said that if you're not here legally, come in and do it the right way. Because my first husband, and I say my first husband, it's a very long, I was married off at 17, but my first husband came to the United States, the legal process. I had to live in Mexico for 4 years. I had to abide by their rules. I had to pay, I had to fill out paperwork every 6 months. And then 4 years later, he was able to come in to the United States and get his papers fixed. It cost us money, sacrifice, and time. And I believe that if we had to do it, and everybody else that has done it the legal way, and those who are still waiting in line, that we should remain like that, like legal.
Well, thank you. The one time I don't ask for a rebuttal, they take it. Okay, so now you got 1 minute. You want something else?
Okay.
Say 1 minute.
Yeah, just to reiterate what I just said, does not mean I am going against immigration, or I don't want to, Memo's against immigration, or I love our ICE agents. I think they're doing a great job. I love that Donald Trump sealed the border. Listen, if those people weren't able to make it over there with their family, weren't able to get an education, put up a business, or able to be successful, what makes you think we want you here? We don't want you here. We need to weed out all the bad apples. And I think we got it right. Our party has it right. It's just on certain things here in the Rio Grande Valley, we have a lot of different cultures. So I think in our situation, it would be wise to at least revise some of it and make sure some of those things aren't hurtful. Because we got a lot of these people that go to schools. We got kids, and a lot of people say mean and hurtful things. I don't think that's good for our community.
Thank you, Memo. All right, lightning round. Now, 1 minute response. Ms. Churchill, do you support term limits for state lawmakers? So what would be the term limit if you support it?
If our president has term limits, then so should every other elected official. I believe that Congress should have term limits, that senators, both at the federal level and at the state level. We need to keep recycling people that go in and out. Otherwise, we have people that are there that are banking, and that's not what this is about. That's not looking out for in the best interest of our constituents. So yeah, I absolutely support it. I've already signed my pledge, and if I have to sign 10 more, I will, because I'm not a career politician, by the way, and I don't intend to be. But even if I were, I would agree to term limits 100%.
Memo, term limits. Do you agree with them? If so, what is the length of service? What's the time?
It's funny that you should ask. Funny you should ask that. I heard that in a country song somewhere. Anyways, term limits is very, very necessary. I think the max should be maybe 10 years, I would say. About 10 years or so, maybe. I know that the person that is currently in office, which is a Democrat, has been there 15 years. Not only that his wife is also the appraisals district, here locally, so they get to evaluate our homes and how we're gonna do. So he's got a monopoly on the whole Rio Grande Valley. How's that fair for all of us as a community, all of us as a people? I mean, the man's been there 15 years. It's about time. He has rooted into every single aspect of our community. And his wife is too, and they're gonna keep doing it. Enough is enough, we need to get him out.
Thank you, Memo. Lightning round question 2. Memo, you start. Should surplus revenue, budget surpluses, Austin, be returned to the taxpayer or used to expand services? 1 minute.
Yes, surplus, the governor just talked about it. I think it should go directly to the homeowners, property taxes. So I think whatever we do have in the surplus, I think it should be something that should be for the homeowners and make it a little bit easier on them.
Ms. Churchill, the surplus, return to taxpayers or expand services?
I believe a lot of people, I'm more towards taxpayers, but I believe a lot of people think that that would be a way to eliminate property taxes, and that is not the case. In fact, it would alleviate it, but not eliminate it, because eventually that money would run out, and then we're gonna go back to square one again. But the money definitely belongs to the state, to us, to the taxpayers. It's our money, and it should be used wisely and invested in us, and not pet projects.
Lightning round question 3. Ms. Churchill, who is one Republican leader you publicly disagree with?
Am I allowed to say this? There are some people, members of Congress, that claim to be Republicans, ran on being Republicans, and then they vote with Democrats. So I don't care who they are, I don't care what their names are, but anybody that does that, that's who I don't align with. That's who I don't simply care for. I understand working across the aisle with other people, and sometimes you have to negotiate, but I'm not gonna sit here and promise to be a Republican and then take sides with Democrats. And it's simply put, I'm not gonna name a name.
Memo, same thing. One Republican leader you disagree with publicly.
That was very modest, Vangela. I'll go ahead and say it, John Cornyn. Oh my God, I'll go ahead and say it, John Cornyn. The guy's ridiculous, man. His health is aging. He's literally not there mentally. I mean, the man just keeps going against the president on everything. He goes against Donald Trump. He's been there way too long. The man he's out of touch with the community. I just do not align with John Cornyn. His health is bad.
Mr. Chairman, the closing statement, 1 or 2? 2 minutes. 2 minutes for a final thought, a closing statement. Memo, closing statement from you, sir, 2 minutes.
Yes, listen, this is going to be a great race that we're going to be involved in, and it's going to take all of us together as a community to come together and be able to win an election for us. You know, the Democratic Party, and they have been for years and years corrupting all levels of government, local, wherever they hold office, it's been bad. So here in the Rio Grande Valley, we have a lot of that. It's going to take all of us to come together and show up, man. Tell your neighbors, hey, let's go vote. Or tell your cousins, tell your primas, your tias. It's going to take all of us to get together. And I think if we all come together, we can definitely turn Hidalgo County red.
Thank you, Memo. 2 minutes. Vangela, final statement. Go ahead.
I'm going to close a little bit about telling you my why. And I don't share my story because I want sympathy from anybody, but I share it because it explains the kind of leader that I am. So, like I said earlier, at 17, I was sent to Mexico, and I was pushed into a life that I truly didn't choose, under the same kind of control that I had grown up with. And that's where I learned to speak, read, and write Spanish. Lo hablo como si yo fuera de aquí, bueno, o de allá de Mexico. Because that's what survival required from me. And for years, other people chose who I was allowed to be. But at 37, I escaped and I rebuilt my life from the ground up. And that experience gave me something that no political consultant can give me, and that is a backbone. It taught me how to stand firm when people try to pressure, shame, or silence me. So when I say I can handle Austin, I mean it. I've already faced harder. And I want to use this strength to serve, to protect families, to support survivors, and to fight for safe communities, strong schools, and a future where leadership doesn't fold when things get a little bit uncomfortable. Austin, the decisions, they hurt us, our kitchen table, because it has an impact on our taxes and our school and our safety. But before we wrap it up, I just want to thank the Hidalgo County GOP for putting this together, for organizing this forum, Christian Fellowship Church for opening their doors to be able to have this conversation, and to all of you out there for taking the time to be informed voters. Just remember, House District 40 deserves a representative who's steady, who is prepared, and unafraid to do what is right. And I'm stepping up because leadership means action, and I'm ready to do the work.
Candidates, thank you for your courage. Thank you for your service. Mr. Chairman, we proceed to 41, correct? Yes, sir. All right.